Okay, so you want to talk like a native speaker, huh?
Sounds like a pretty big goal.
Definitely ambitious. We've been getting a lot of searches from you guys, and it seems like everyone is looking for the fastest way to learn.
Like a shortcut.
Yeah. Is that like, what's the secret? Some of
Yes.
these keywords are like, speak like a native in 5 lessons.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one.
Secrets to learning a new language.
Classic.
But this one's my favorite English speaking course by a Native American.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one too. What does that even mean?
Yeah, what does that mean? We got to unpack that one.
Yeah, we do for sure.
So is fluency really just 5 lessons away? I mean, is that even possible?
I mean, it's probably not about someone who's like, actually Native American. It's probably just referring to someone whose native language is English.
Yeah, their first language.
Right, exactly. Like I'm a native English speaker,
Right.
but I'm not,
Not a Native American. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But it's a good reminder to be, sensitive about language and how we use it. Absolutely.
Especially when we're talking about, all these different languages and cultures.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it speaks to kind of this desire we all have to be fluent quickly,
Yeah.
like yesterday.
Yeah,
And we see that a lot in the searches you guys are sending us.
for sure. For sure, that 5 lessons thing really got me. I was like, 5 lessons, really? Are there really shortcuts when it comes to learning a new language? What do you think?
I think, everybody wants that quick fix, that magic bullet.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is learning a language takes time.
Yeah.
You got to
Yeah.
put in the work. It's
Yeah.
a long process.
As a journey.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's because your brain actually has to change. It has to form these new pathways, these new connections. And that doesn't just happen overnight.
I can't just download it, unfortunately.
No, you can't.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
But for now, we got to put in the work.
Yeah, exactly. And, we see some recurring themes in the searches that you guys are sending us, like immersion and practice and thinking in English.
Right.
And those actually are proven methods.
They do. Yeah, they're not just like marketing buzzwords or anything.
Right, so no magic spells, but these are proven methods. So
Yeah.
why are those specific things so effective? Like, what's going on?
Totally. Let's break it down.
Okay, let's do it.
So first, let's talk about immersion.
Okay.
So think about how little kids learn their first language.
Yeah.
They're just surrounded by it all the time. They hear it in different situations and different contexts.
Right, 24/7.
Exactly. And they're picking up on those subtle things, those nuances, like the tone of voice, the way people use their bodies.
With slang?
Yeah, all of that. And immersion, even as an adult, it replicates that environment to a certain degree.
Yeah, like being dropped right in the middle of it.
Exactly. And it lets your brain absorb the language naturally without even really trying.
Like on autopilot almost.
Yeah, and studies have shown that this actually activates different parts of the brain. More parts of the brain get involved when you're immersed.
Really?
Yeah, and that creates stronger connections, which is what helps you learn and remember things better.
Wow, so it's like learning by osmosis, just by being surrounded by it.
Exactly. It's like soaking it all in.
I love that.
And you know what goes hand in hand with immersion?
What's that?
Practice.
Right, of course you got to use it.
Exactly. You have to actively use the language. You can't just listen.
Right.
You have to speak. You have to write, maybe even sing in English.
Sing in English karaoke night.
Oh, yeah. Why not?
I love it.
The more you practice, the better you'll get.
Right.
It's like learning to play a musical instrument or a sport.
Muscle memory.
Yes, exactly. The more you do it, the smoother it becomes.
So true. So true. And speaking of practice, we were talking about thinking in English earlier, which seems really hard.
It can be a little tricky at first.
But I bet it's super effective what happens in our brains when we make that switch from translating in our heads to actually thinking in English.
It's a game changer. It really is.
How so?
Well, when you translate, you're constantly going back and forth between two languages in your head. And that slows you down, it makes you hesitate, and your speech ends up sounding a little less natural.
I can see that.
But when you think in English, you cut out that middleman.
Right. Straight to the source.
Exactly. You're engaging with the language directly, and that builds fluency. And it helps you express yourself more spontaneously.
Wow. I like it. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's a powerful technique.
So to recap, no magic spells, but lots of consistent practice, immersive experiences, and training your brain to think in English.
Exactly.
Those are the real secrets to fluency.
You got it.
But we were talking about secrets earlier. Are there any techniques that are surprisingly effective, even if they're not as flashy as a 5-lesson miracle?
Oh, there are definitely some hidden gems out there. One of the most powerful techniques is actually pretty simple. It's called spaced repetition.
Spaced repetition. I've heard of that. What is that again?
So basically, it's based on this idea that we forget things over time.
Which is true. I forget things all the time.
We all do. It's totally normal. But we can actually make our memory stronger by reviewing things at specific intervals.
So it's like strategic reminders for your brain.
Exactly. And there are apps and programs out there that use spaced repetition to help you learn vocabulary and grammar more efficiently.
So it's all about timing.
Yes, exactly.
That's so cool. I love that.
And it really works.
So I've got the apps, we've got the textbooks, but those can
Yeah.
only take us so far, right?
Right.
You were also searching for real-life English.
Right.
What does that even mean?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to experience English in its natural habitat, right?
Out in the wild.
Exactly, out in the wild.
So what are we talking about here? Give us some examples.
So I'm thinking things like movies, music, even podcasts like the one you're listening to right now.
Yay.
These are great resources. They can really help you immerse yourself in real-life conversations and, pick up on slang.
The different accents.
Oh, yeah, all the different accents you'll hear out there.
Because English is spoken all over the world, so there's so many different ways to speak it.
That's the beauty of it.
What about online communities? I bet those could be really helpful.
Oh, absolutely. They're amazing. You can find groups online dedicated to language learning.
Really?
Yeah, and you can connect with native speakers for language exchange.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you can even participate in virtual events and discussions. It's all out there.
So it's like having a built-in study buddy.
Exactly. And the key is to find communities that align with your interests.
Right. Make it fun.
Exactly. So you'll actually enjoy spending time there, and the more you enjoy it, the more you'll learn.
That's so true. So true. All right. So to sum it all up, it seems like the path to fluency is all about consistent effort, using these smart strategies, and just immersing yourself in the language as much as possible.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Awesome. All right. So any final thoughts for our listeners out there?
Yes. I would say really think about why you want to speak English like a native speaker.
Yeah. Why is this goal so important to you?
Exactly. Is it for clear communication? Is it to feel more comfortable in social situations? Or is it to connect with English-speaking cultures on a deeper level?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, think about it, because your motivation can really shape your learning journey.
It can keep you going.
It can, and it can help you stay focused when things get challenging, and believe me, they will get challenging.
Yeah, learning a language is no walk in the park,
No, it's not.
but it's so rewarding.
It is.
You mentioned cultural nuances earlier, and that makes me wonder if speaking like a native also means adopting those cultural behaviors.
It's something to think about.
It is, yeah, food for thought.
Yeah,
Well, thank you so much for diving into this with us today. This has been really fascinating.
it's been my pleasure.
And for all of you listening out there, keep those searches coming, and we'll catch you on our next deep dive.
See ya!